Welcome to the NewsHour. The race for president ran through the Tar Heel state today.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump both rallied in North Carolina, one of the crucial swing states that could secure a victory in next week's election. In Rocky Mount, North Carolina, former President Donald Trump urged voters to send him back to the White House.
This election is a choice between whether we'll have 4 more years, think of this, 4 more years of gross incompetence.
Continuing to sow doubt about the security of the election.
I'm hearing all sorts of stories. We're not going to have the result by Tuesday night. We spend all this money on computers. If you go back to paper ballots, and it's watermarked. You know, paper is now very sophisticated, believe it or not.
In fact, the vast majority, over 97% of votes cast in this election will be recorded on paper, the head official in charge of U.S. cybersecurity and infrastructure told the NewsHour recently.
First, got to remember, election infrastructure, the voting systems where Americans cast their ballots, not connected to the internet. So very difficult for somebody to hack into those voting machines. Secondly, over 97% paper ballots that voters can look at and verify themselves.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris made her case in North Carolina's capital of Raleigh.
We have just 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have work to do.
In Washington, D.C. last night, a crowd in the tens of thousands gathered to see Harris deliver her closing arguments on the White House Ellipse lawn, the same place Trump gave his infamous January 6th speech.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election.
Harris painted Trump as a threat to democracy and vowed to represent all Americans.
These United States of America, we are not a vessel for the schemes of wannabe dictators. The United States of America is the greatest idea humanity ever devised. A nation big enough to encompass all our dreams, strong enough to withstand any fracture or fissure between us, and fearless enough to imagine a future of possibilities. So America, let us reach for that future.
Trump made his closing arguments with a large rally at New York's Madison Square Garden last Sunday, an event later criticized for racist and sexist rhetoric throughout, including a comedian calling Puerto Rico a, quote, floating island of garbage. Trump responded to the criticism last night on Fox.
They put a comedian in, which everybody does. You throw comedians in. You don't vet them and go crazy. It's nobody's fault. But somebody said some bad things.
President Biden also weighed in on a Zoom call with Latino supporters last night.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Later clarifying he was referring to the comedian's rhetoric, not Trump voters. Today, Harris distanced herself from his remarks.
First of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. And as President of the United States, I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not.
Her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, echoed that message in Charlotte, North Carolina.
We can choose a path that includes everyone, that is hopeful, that it adheres to the American values, or we can get dark, negative, and sink into a place that's all about one person, Donald Trump. That's the choice.
But the Trump campaign pounced, with Senator J.D. Vance saying Harris and Biden should be ashamed of themselves. That, too, comes in the context of a pattern of coarse and insulting language from Trump.
Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way. We can't stand you. You're a vice president.
Including these remarks today about Democrats.
It's the most corrupt, horrible people. These are horrible people. Oops, we should get along with everybody. They're horrible people.
With less than a week of campaigning left, both candidates will travel to Wisconsin tonight. Harris will speak to supporters in Madison while Trump rallies in Green Bay.